When you think of Jamaica, what comes to mind? Pristine beaches, reggae music, world-class sprinters. It's a global brand built on culture and stunning natural beauty. But what if this Caribbean island was sitting on a different kind of gold? What if it held a key to powering the next industrial revolution? This isn't a story about tourism or music. This is a thought experiment. A look at how Jamaica could leverage its geology to go from a bauxite mining nation to a global battery manufacturing powerhouse, challenging the likes of China and completely reshaping its own destiny. To really get how big of a deal this would be, you have to look at where Jamaica's economy stands today. For decades, the nation's fortunes have been overwhelmingly tied to tourism. While the industry brings in vital foreign currency, it also makes the economy incredibly vulnerable. A global pandemic, a hurricane, or a recession in North America can bring the entire system to a grinding halt. This isn't a hypothetical. It's a reality Jamaica has faced time and time again. But Jamaica has another major economic story, one written in its famous red dirt: bauxite. Starting in the 1950s, Jamaica shot up to become the world's leading producer of this reddish ore, the primary source of aluminum. For a moment, it seemed like a ticket to prosperity. American and Canadian companies set up massive operations, and for a time, they significantly boosted Jamaica's economic growth. By 1957, Jamaica was the #1 bauxite producer on the planet. However, this boom came with a harsh lesson. Jamaica was mostly exporting the raw, unprocessed bauxite. The real money wasn't in digging the dirt out of the ground. It was in the complex, energy-intensive process of refining it into alumina and then smelting that into aluminum, which mostly happened overseas. As a result, multinational corporations profited immensely, while Jamaica was left with displaced farmers, abandoned open-pit mines, and a relatively small share of the wealth from its own soil. The industry provided jobs, but never the kind of transformative wealth that builds a nation. It was a classic commodity trap. This history is the ghost that haunts any new discussion of Jamaica's mineral wealth. A constant reminder of the difference between exporting raw materials and building a real value-added industry. This economic fragility, combined with the bauxite legacy, has left Jamaica with persistent challenges. Despite its strengths, the nation grapples with high public debt, unemployment, and a brain drain of its most talented citizens seeking opportunities abroad. This is the before picture, a nation with immense potential, but one whose economic foundations are more precarious than they appear, and one that's been burned before by the promise of mineral riches. Now imagine a global shift so profound it changes everything. The move away from fossil fuels toward an era of electrification. This is happening right now. The electric vehicle revolution is in full swing, and with it, an almost insatiable demand for batteries. The value of those batteries comes down to a handful of critical minerals. We're talking lithium, nickel, and especially cobalt. These aren't just rocks. They're the heart of the energy transition. For decades, industrial giants have looked to places like the Democratic Republic of Congo for cobalt and to a dominant China for processing and battery manufacturing. But as geopolitical tensions rise, the West is desperately searching for new, reliable and ethical partners. This is where Jamaica's story could take an unbelievable turn. While the country is known for bauxite and limestone, its geology also suggests the potential for other valuable minerals. The same geological forces that formed the Greater Antilles Islands create the possibility for deposits of nickel and the new blue gold, cobalt. What if new, detailed surveys revealed economically viable reserves of these battery metals? A discovery like that would be the catalyst, the turning point. It would present Jamaica with a once-in-a-century opportunity. A chance not just to dig and export, but to finally break the commodity curse that defined its bauxite era. The question would no longer be just what's in the ground. The real question would be, what can we build with it? This is the moment Jamaica could pivot from being a pawn in the global resource game to becoming a strategic player. So how would a Caribbean island nation transform itself into a battery manufacturing powerhouse? It wouldn't be simple. It would be a deliberate, multi-stage strategy. A journey up the value chain that rests on 4 essential pillars. The first pillar is revitalizing mining with a new focus. This means a fundamental shift away from just extracting bauxite. It would require huge investment in modern exploration to accurately map out any potential cobalt and nickel reserves. We're not talking about your grandfather's open pit mining. We're talking about using technology for precision extraction, with a focus on sustainability from day one. This step alone could attract a new wave of international investment from firms that understand the immense value of these battery metals. The second, and maybe the most crucial pillar, is escaping the commodity trap by downstreaming. This is where Jamaica learns from its past. Instead of loading raw ore onto ships, Jamaica could build its own refineries. This is the downstreaming strategy that's been a game-changer for countries like Indonesia. Indonesia banned the export of raw nickel ore, which forced foreign companies to invest in domestic smelters and refineries. As a result, the value of their nickel exports multiplied, creating a boom in those regions. For Jamaica, this would mean building specialized plants to refine ore into high-purity cobalt sulfate and nickel sulfate, the direct chemical precursors for battery cathodes. This step captures enormous value and creates sophisticated chemical engineering jobs. This leads directly to the third pillar, becoming a manufacturing powerhouse. With a local supply of refined battery materials, the next logical step is building the batteries themselves. Yes, we're talking about Jamaican gigafactories. The seeds of this future already exist. Consider the Tropical Battery Company. For over 70 years, it's been a household name in Jamaica for lead-acid batteries. Today, it's aggressively expanding into renewable energy and EV-related services, importing and distributing lithium-ion products and planning for growth. Imagine a supercharged version of this. Tropical Battery or new joint ventures partnering with global auto and battery makers. These factories could supply a growing Caribbean EV market and create an entire ecosystem of related industries. But all of this is incredibly energy intensive. That brings us to the fourth and final pillar, powering the dream. Jamaica has long struggled with some of the highest electricity costs in the world, largely due to its reliance on imported oil. To make the battery dream a reality, Jamaica must solve its energy problem. The solution is all around them. The government has already set an ambitious target to generate 50% of its electricity from renewables by 2030. This plan involves a massive build-out of solar and wind farms. A green battery industry must be powered by green energy. This creates a powerful, virtuous cycle. Renewable energy powers the battery factories, and the batteries from those factories can then be used for grid-scale storage, solving the intermittency of solar and wind and making the entire grid more stable. This vision for Jamaica is massive, a complete industrial transformation from the ground up. It's a fascinating look at how a nation can pivot its entire economic future. If Jamaica could pull this off, what would the after picture look like? Nothing short of a complete national transformation. Economically, the impact would be seismic. The reliance on the volatile tourism sector would shrink as a new, powerful industrial pillar rises. We're talking about a massive surge in GDP, driven not by selling raw commodities, but by exporting high-value, technologically advanced products. Instead of shipping out tons of red dirt for a few dollars, Jamaica would be exporting battery packs worth thousands. This shift would dramatically improve the nation's terms of trade and build a more resilient, diversified economy. The social impact would be just as profound. This new industry would create thousands of high-skilled, well-paying jobs. Suddenly, there would be huge domestic demand for geologists, chemical engineers, robotics technicians, and manufacturing specialists. This does more than just lower unemployment. It provides a powerful reason for Jamaica's brightest minds to stay and build their future at home, reversing the decades-long brain drain. And then there's the global impact. In a world desperate to diversify supply chains, Jamaica would become a pivotal player. Its strategic location, just a short sail from the massive North American market, makes it an ideal and secure link in the Western Hemisphere's battery supply chain. Jamaica could transform from a small island nation into a strategic economic partner for the United States, Canada, and Europe, holding a key to their green energy futures. It would become the high-tech hub of the Caribbean. This future isn't just about economic stats. It's about a new national identity. A Jamaica known not just for its culture, but for its cutting-edge technology. A nation that took the hard lessons from its past and used them to build a prosperous, self-determined future. But this gleaming, high-tech future isn't guaranteed. A path paved with such valuable resources is also filled with pitfalls. This transformation comes with a twist, a series of profound challenges that could derail the whole vision. First, there's the shadow of the resource curse. History is littered with nations that discovered immense mineral wealth, only to see it fuel corruption and inequality. Avoiding this requires ironclad transparency, robust governance, and the political will to ensure the wealth benefits all citizens, perhaps through a sovereign wealth fund, rather than being squandered. Second, there are the environmental questions. Mining is, by its nature, destructive. Cobalt, in particular, has a troubled reputation globally. For Jamaica to succeed, it would have to become a world leader in ethical and sustainable mining. This means enforcing the strictest environmental protections, investing in land reclamation, and ensuring the health of its people and the beauty of its landscape aren't sacrificed for profit. It's a choice between the dirty practices of the past and pioneering a new, greener way forward. Finally, there's the challenge of policy and execution. This grand vision requires a clear, stable government strategy. Businesses need certainty. A glimpse of this challenge can be seen in reports of business ventures being stalled while awaiting clarity on government policies. Scale that uncertainty up to a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you see how easily progress can be paralyzed. The government must act as a facilitator, not a barrier. Successfully navigating these challenges is arguably harder than building the factories themselves. It requires a national consensus and a long-term vision that transcends political cycles. The story of Jamaica's future is one of a nation at a profound crossroads. Down one path lies a familiar story: continued reliance on tourism and a potential repeat of the bauxite era's commodity trap, where its natural wealth primarily benefits others. It's the safer, more predictable route. But down the other path lies a bolder, more audacious future. A future where Jamaica could leverage hidden geological treasures not just for extraction, but for creation. A future where it builds a fully integrated, high-tech battery industry powered by its own renewable energy. This path is far more difficult and filled with risks, from navigating the resource curse to ensuring environmental stewardship. Yet it offers a prize of incalculable worth: true economic sovereignty, a resilient economy, and a place at the center of the world's green energy transition. The potential is there, written in the very rocks of the island. The question that remains is whether Jamaica can summon the collective will, strategic vision, and disciplined execution needed to seize such an extraordinary opportunity. Can this island nation, known for its vibrant culture, become the unexpected battery powerhouse of the Western Hemisphere? The world is just beginning to watch. What do you think? Is this a realistic path for Jamaica or a pipe dream? What are the biggest hurdles you see? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for more deep dives into the economics of tomorrow, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.